Well, the process of building a house is not easy. But here I am, 4 walls in, and ready to put some rafters on our new house. This has already been an exciting process because we got to design this house ourselves. I got to plan it all out and learn a lot in framing up the walls and putting them together, and work with Caden and get a lot accomplished. But we've got a long ways to go. And I have just a couple of little things to button up before I'm ready to start putting my rafters on. I did not finish the entire top plate along the back wall, so I have 2 boards that I need to cut to finish that, and then I need to mark the layout for the rafters. And then I have to figure out how to cut those rafters. And I've seen lots of tutorials and videos, and I think I understand it. So let's hope we can get this right, because I only ordered exactly enough 20-foot 2x10s to accomplish this. But actually, before I can do anything, I've got to rearrange some supplies, because I stacked my OSB on top of my 2x10s, mainly to block the sun and keep them from warping until I was ready for them. So hopefully we accomplished that. So I'm gonna set me up some pallets to move that OSB to, that way I can keep it off the ground and take care of it until we're ready to use it. Then I can get to work. So let's go get the TYM and the forks. Now I've just gotta go ahead and share with you guys, because I am spending every spare minute trying to work on this house, I have not kept up with a lot of other property maintenance. And so as we head over here to the wood yard, well, I'm a little bit embarrassed for you guys to see what it looks like, because you know how quickly stuff grows once the sun comes out, and we have had a lot of rain this year. But it'll all be here when I get done. We've got lots of firewood, still got our split fire 2265, and we've got our equipment shed over here. I also have a stack of slabs on the table, and I just remembered that I promised a viewer that messaged me that lives locally that I would check and see if I had any pieces that would be good for some laser engraving that they were wanting to do. So, yeah, I don't know, may have to go through that pile in a little bit, but I'm in the middle of building, so just gonna have to get to that a little bit later. Looks like we've got the bucket on the tractor, so we gotta switch over to the forks real quick. Up here close to the wood yard is so handy. Having all the equipment, the attachments right here. I'm really gonna like living up here. The blackberries are about to hide my Kubota BX bucket from me. Lots to keep up with on a big property. Did a little bit more groundwork around the foundation. Got that smoothed out. Now we'll let it settle for the patio build. And now we're going to put our steps back so that we can get in and out of the house easier. have the camera rolling when I cut my boards and put them up on the top plates of the wall and got that finished up, but about ready to stretch a tape and start marking the wall for where the rafters are gonna go. And man, I whine about this heat nonstop. I've got my scaffolding turned to make me a little shady spot here so I can sit down and cool down a little bit, because I need it. It's brutal. This is one of the hottest summers I can remember in a while. It's just been, yeah, it's been stout. But we chip away at it. I get out there and I work a little bit until I feel like I'm about to keel over, and then I come over and sit down, cool down a little bit, and we'll get there. All you guys that do this day in and day out in the sun, chime in. Give me a pep talk. All right, well, I think I've got my first rafter laid out, and I didn't bother showing my process because I'm not ready to teach anybody. I had to watch videos and figure out how to lay them out. But I've got a little bit of a complicated rafter in that it's a single slope pitch. So we're gonna have a 412 cut on each end. Instead of matching up to a ridge pole, we're gonna have our overhang on the top side. But I want the size of a 2x6 rafter sticking out as overhang because I don't want a 12-inch fascia board. So that made it a little bit more complicated because not only did I have to cut my bird's mouth here, then I had to go up as though it's like flat flush with the wall, and then out with my overhang in the size of a 2x6. And I had to do that on both ends with, of course, opposite angles, so that my overhang on the bottom is still a plumb cut when we're finished. This is all new to me. I've never done this before. When I'm building equipment sheds, honestly, half the time I don't even cut a bird's mouth. I just throw some hurricane ties on it, and it's an equipment shed. It's not framed like this. It's pole barn style, and there's not a 3.5-inch top plate for it to sit on anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. But obviously, for the house I'm going to live in, I want it to be right. So I'm trying to learn. I will say, some of the guys I was watching, they overcut it, and they say that overcutting it by that small amount doesn't weaken your tail and all of that. But I've got a Sawzall right there. So I decided I'm not gonna overcut mine. I'm gonna use a Sawzall and make that last little cut and clean them up. That way I've got good square cuts and it looks clean. I may not be the best at everything. Some things I do are sloppy, but I want to try, and so this is something I think I can do, so that's the way I'm going to do that. So that looks right. I don't know if it is right yet or not. We'll test fit it once I get the other end cut. I even actually sat down and drew out a picture of it, and I plugged my measurements into a calculator to make sure that I was coming out right. And the length that I was looking for inside the walls for my diagonal was 195 3/8 inches. And I measured my walls that I put up, and they were exactly that. So we're on the right track at least. I don't know if y'all noticed what went down here. I took the side-by-side and my rafter that I had to lay out and drove it over here to the shade so that I didn't have to stand out in the sun and figure this out. I was trying to think and plan and be accurate. So tried to take my time, do this right. And for that, I needed shade. Okay, now I'm up here by myself tonight, but I want to know if this is right, or at least close to right. So I think I'm going to carry this over there, hang it up on the top, and then work my way down there and see if I can't get it into position so that I can test fit it, because I'm going to use this as my pattern, but I got to make sure that it's right before I go cutting $1,000 worth of 2x10s. I'll try it. If it gets too sketchy, then I'll wait until tomorrow night when I have Caden up here to help me. I'm about out of time for tonight anyway, so. right, y'all. I feel like I made some accomplishment tonight. Tomorrow night, we'll cut all of our rafters and then we'll be ready to start hanging. Well, we probably won't cut them all tomorrow night, but we'll start cutting on them anyway. We've got a revival starts up tomorrow night, so we'll only have a couple hours before I gotta leave for that. So we just chip away at it, do what we can when we can. So I'll see y'all in a few minutes. I just got home from work. I'm ready to get to work. I have loaded up a bunch of 2x10s on the forks of my tractor so that I can bring them over here in the shade and use my pattern to get them marked out and cut. I'm not gonna cut all 40. I'll probably cut about 10, and that'll be enough to get me started. And yeah, Caden ran down to get me a clamp so that I can clamp these together and make sure that I get them lined up really well. I sent Caden down to get my sawhorses just to put under each end of this because I don't like the way it flexes. It makes it harder to run the saw stable and safely. But also, I'm waiting for him to come back because I want to go ahead and put up the two that I've cut. I'm gonna put one on this end and one on the far end, and then we'll put some in the middle where they go, just to kind of start getting it all tied together. I've got bracing in there, but of course, the more the structure you can get up, the more stable it's going to be, and hopefully we'll be ready by the time any storms come. Building the house yourself takes some time when you have to go to work every day. We're gonna get there though. I'm real happy with our progress so far, and I'm loving the look of the house. It's just exactly what I envisioned. Phew-wee. Late nights and early mornings. So I mentioned we have a revival going on. Some young men are preaching about creation, which is right up my alley. I'm all about it. And it's been going great. And we went and played kickball until like 1:30 in the morning last night. And I got up at 7 to come up here and hang these rafters that I got cut yesterday. It's still early in the day and I'm tired already. But we've got some more hangouts to do today, so this is all I'm gonna get done on the house. That's why I wanted to get up here and do just a little bit and wrap up this video. The next time we talk, we'll cut the rest of these rafters and we'll get them hung, and we'll be talking about putting on our sheeting and getting ready for the siding and roofing. I'll bet you can guess what we're gonna go with. Put your suggestions down in the comments. Colors, types of materials, whatever you like. Tell us about it. Guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. Until next time, get outside and enjoy God's creation because it's beautiful out here. Y'all have a good day.